In this video, we'll walk through how to configure the OPC UA server on a DEIF iE650 PLC using the integrated CODESYS runtime. OPC UA is one of the most common protocols for plant-level communication. With the CODESYS runtime, the iE650 PLC is enabled to share real-time data and control securely using this protocol. Before you begin, ensure you already have the CODESYS development system installed on your PC, your iE650 PLC connected to the same network, and a CODESYS project with a blank application for the PLC already created. In this tutorial, we'll enable and secure the OPC UA server in the CODESYS runtime and expose PLC variables to OPC. First, let's enable the OPC UA server. Go to the object tree and open the device object, then the device menu at the top of the screen, and select Security Settings. There, under the CMP OPC UA server folder, make sure activation is set to activated. We'll be using basic 256 SHA-256 signed and encrypted as the communication policy and mode. With this setting, the OPC UA server expects clients to use signed and encrypted certificates. Only clients whose certificates you trust on the PLC side will be allowed to connect, keeping the communication secure. Whenever these settings are modified, it is necessary to restart the CODESYS runtime service as it only reads these configurations at startup. To do this, access the PLC terminal and use the system control restart command shown in screen. After a few seconds, check the service status. Now we can expose variables so OPC UA clients can browse them, read values, and, with the right permissions, write back to them. When using OPC, these variables are often referred to as symbols. Exposing variables to the server can be achieved using two different approaches, each with its own advantages. The choice between them depends on your integration needs and preferences. We'll start with the Communication Manager approach. In the object tree, right-click on your empty application and add the Communication Manager object. This object allows you to add the OPC UA server, which automatically generates a symbol set object. By opening the symbol set object, a list of precompiled variable sets is displayed. To expose them in the server, drag the variables from this list and place them into the right panel. Exposing variables using a communication manager and symbol set is recommended by CODESYS. However, the generated node IDs are encoded and not parameterizable in many SCADA systems. The second approach uses the symbol configuration object. This method has a broader scope, as it exposes variables not only for OPC UA but also for other kinds of external clients. To use this, go to the object navigation tree and right-click your application to add the symbol configuration object. Open the added object and check the boxes for the variables or entire structures you want to expose. Then click on Build. The next time you upload the application to the PLC, these variables will be available through OPC. After exposing the variables, the next step is to ensure that your OPC UA client can connect securely. OPC UA requires mutual certificate trust between the server and the client before any communication is allowed. To manage certificate trust, open the security screen in CODESYS by double-clicking the shield icon at the bottom right corner of the window. Refresh the device list and log in. Then select the device root. Here, you'll see the PLC's current OPC UA server certificate, which might appear grayed out. Select it and use the button at the top to generate a new certificate if needed. After attempting to connect to the endpoint, you'll be prompted to trust the server certificate. Do that, then return to CODESYS. When your OPC UA client attempts to connect for the first time, its certificate will appear in one of the lists here. In the Devices tab, you'll find two lists: Trusted Certificates and Quarantined Certificates. Drag the client certificate from the Quarantined folder into the Trusted Certificates folder to authorize the connection. After that, retry the connection in UA Expert. Now the exposed tags should be visible. Once these steps are completed, the OPC UA server on the iE650 will be fully configured and ready for secure client connections. Alternatively, it is possible to enable anonymous login. Besides allowing you to log in without a defined user, it also allows clients to connect without certificate trust, which eases development during stages where security has not yet been defined. To enable this connection mode, go to the Device tab in the device's communication settings and switch communication mode to secure if possible. Then, under Change Runtime Security Policy, check the Allow Anonymous Login box. Restart the CODESYS service as shown previously. Log into the PLC and load the application. Now, using the UA Expert client, we can browse the endpoint and notice the connection option using None as the security policy. Once the connection succeeds, it is possible to browse the exposed variables in both the Symbol Configuration and Communication Manager folders. However, in some cases, exposed variables may not be visible or modifiable for anonymous users. To ensure variables are available, access rights must be explicitly defined. If you are using symbol configuration, go to Settings and check Enable Symbol Sets. This assigns the default label to the symbol set and allows symbol rights to be configured. First, make sure to build the project and load the application so these changes are available in the PLC. Then, proceed with configuring symbol access rights. Click the Synchronization button, then open the default Sets access rights and change the anonymous OPC access right by double-clicking the denied symbol. If you are using Communication Manager, while logged out of the PLC, check the Use Access Rights defined in the User Management box. Upload the new changes to the PLC. Then, in the Device window, go to Access Rights. Refresh using the Synchronization button, and select Symbol Set under the Communication Manager sublist. Lastly, change the rights by double-clicking both View and Modify. At this point, you have successfully set up your OPC server exposing the variables. However, if your client still can't connect and throws errors like bad communication error, endpoint not found, or a connection status stuck on faulted, disconnected, here are the key checks to troubleshoot the most common causes. As a first step, check the port usage on your PLC. Sometimes another service or application might be running on the default OPC port. To do this, access the PLC terminal. There, use the command shown in screen. This will tell you what application or service is actually using the port. It should show CODESYS control listening. Otherwise, you must configure the port mapping for each application. If the server is still unavailable, despite the PLC being confirmed on the network and the port being open, the most likely cause is the PLC firewall blocking communication through the OPC port. On the PLC terminal, use the NFT list ruleset command. Port 4840 must be listed among other ports accepted CODESYS usage. If that's not the case, create a new file for inbound OPC UA traffic using the make directory command shown in screen. Then edit a new file with the visual editor. Write the following rule inside the text editor by typing TCPD port 4840 accept. Add a new line at the end of the file. This will open port 4840 for inbound TCP traffic. Press the escape key and type :WQ to write and quit editing. Now reload the firewall service using systemctl restart firewall. Verify the firewall rules with NFT list ruleset. You should see the new port 4840 listed under the incoming rules. Another common issue is that after achieving connection, tag creation is not available in the client, whether it's automatic or manual. There are some causes you can discard. The first cause could be that application changes were not uploaded to the PLC. Check the application object that is exposing the variables. If the variables are properly selected, go to the Build button on the toolbar, select Clean All, and Generate Code, then log into the PLC and load the built application. As you can see, the client can successfully browse the exposed tags.